Hello, everybody, and welcome to the continuation of the Bat Collection overview here on the Media Files. So, I had mentioned last time I talked about Batman Begins and how Christopher Nolan basically literally saved the Bat franchise from death. So, this movie made a ton of money when it came out, and not only that, Warner Brothers was like, well, you did such a great job with that. So what do you want to do next? I know we've done the Prestige with you, so do you want to do a Batman sequel? Yeah, but I want to do something different. Actually, I want to do something even better. Okay, I want to use this little camera called IMAX camera. What is that? Basically, it's just like shooting on film, except it's in the biggest screen out there. Okay, shoot a sequence and see what it's like. The Dark Knight. That's what we're talking about today here on the Media Files. Welcome back. So, The Dark Knight, as I had mentioned, Warner Brothers, shoot a sequence with IMAX. Let's see what it looks like. The prologue sequence was the test footage to get Warner's to approve of Nolan to shoot in IMAX. And holy crap, did that pay off. Oh, man. I mean, and then not only that, though, that prologue that Nolan shot for this got put in front of I Am Legend a year before it was ever released in theaters. Yeah. I tell you what, though, God, Nolan knows what he's doing. If he knows what he wants to shoot, he will shoot it right. And not only that, though, his crew knows what to do. And not only that, though, they up the ante for the next Batman movie. We're like, well, can we top ourselves? Yes, they definitely top themselves big time. So you have the return of Christian Bale as Batman, and you have Michael Caine returning as Alfred, as well as Gary Oldman and Morgan Freeman returning as Gordon and Lucius Fox. However, there was a little teaser card that was at the end of Batman Begins, featuring a little character called the Joker. So, was that kind of like a tease of what the next villain was going to be? Originally, no. Nolan actually wasn't going to do the Joker at first. He was actually going to pick somebody else. Um, he was actually, I think he was thinking of maybe the Riddler or a completely different character that we've never really seen in Batman films before. But they decided, you know what? Why don't we do this? Since we did a realistic take, let's see here. What would a realistic take of the Joker be like? So who do we get to play him? Well, a picture gets posted on the internet with Heath Ledger in makeup and this really weird kind of close-up look. People are all confused by it. We're like, why would you pick the guy from the gay cowboy movie to play the Joker? Why would you do that? All it took was the prologue sequence to change people's minds. Holy crap, did that pay off big time. So, yeah, The Dark Knight. What can I say? I'll show you this here. As you can probably tell, it's kind of hard to tell because the ink is kind of faded. That is my original ticket when I saw it in theaters. I saw it on June 23rd, 2008. The 10:20 p.m. show in IMAX. Yep. I was working at the movie theater when they had released this movie, and so luckily, actually, this picture here is what I had mentioned. That picture of the Joker. That picture there, people were like, "Why would you cast him as this character?" Sure enough, that paid off, and not only that, it became basically his best role that he ever did. He won an Oscar for it posthumously because he had died uh, after the making of this movie, because Heath Ledger was making a movie with Terry Gilliam, and he had passed away uh, like in the early stages of production on that movie. I can never not remember what the name of the movie is, but basically Johnny Depp and other actors it was the Imagination of Dr. Parnassus, I believe is the name of the movie. Because Johnny Depp and a few other actors basically portrayed what was in that character's mind, apparently. So the Dark Knight. So this version of the Joker, basically, he's almost kind of like a character where he's like a soldier that has returned home. It kind of has like PTSD, basically. If you kind of notice the way his mannerisms are, the way he acts, the way he talks, and how serious he is all the time, it's just a theory that some of us have out there, and I think it's kind of right for that character because he's not Jack Nicholson, he's not Cesar Romero's Joker. They're not that versions. That basically would make sense because we were still at the time the war on terror was still going on at this point. We were still, we were like 7 years into the war and stuff. And so we're like, well, that's pretty much the only real way we can kind of portray a realistic Joker. But even though it's not actually mentioned, but you just kind of think that that's possibly what he could have been. But man, I tell you what though, Nolan really, really ups the ante for this movie. So does Goyer. Goyer kind of helped out with the story a little bit, but he actually didn't write the screenplay. Christopher Nolan and his brother Jonathan wrote the screenplay, but Goyer was there. He kind of helped get the story off the ground, but he was actually busy shooting The Invisible at the time, so he wasn't actually available to be on set a whole lot. So I tell you what, though, Nolan really pulled it out of the park with this movie. Not only that, though, he did something that I figured probably would happen eventually in this movie. Once again, the Batmobile gets destroyed in this movie. But it's kind of cool of what happens because originally, from what I understand, was that the Batmobile was supposed to be destroyed in the first movie. That would have been interesting because here it is, you get introduced to this new vehicle and it's gone. So, what is Batman, what is there left of Batman's, brand new arsenal? But it's so cool that it changes into the Batpod, which is basically the modern take of his motorcycle with big, huge ass wheels. Oh, yeah. That scene was awesome in IMAX because that whole sequence was shot with IMAX cameras. Such highly detailed stuff, especially shot in the lower Wacker area of Chicago. Yeah. And I remember when that sequence was showing in the theater when Batman does that wheelie up on the wall after the truck flips over, and the crowd was just going ape crazy. They were going nuts. They're like, dude, no way. And then the sound was just amazing in that theater. And, speaking of that IMAX theater, a little story behind this movie. When I was working there at the movie theater that they were showing it at, we had to have some special guests sneak in through the back. Yeah. So we had to put people on hold to keep them out there in the lobby while we had to put our special guests in first. And lo and behold, it was Dave Matthews and his entire band, and nobody knew it because they were all sitting there dead center and nobody even realized that they were even there. So it was kind of a cool night because here it is, I got literally a big name celebrity in the theater and nobody even knew about it because they paid tickets to see the movie there. And I'm like, that is awesome, dude. You know, I mean, because I had, you know, I knew of Dave Matthews, but I never had listened to any of his stuff. But that was probably one of the coolest things that we had ever had there. And of course, I remember when we had opened it up, we had a line of people that went from the IMAX theater all the way out to the lobby and around the corner of the building just so people can see The Dark Knight. And not just only in IMAX, but we also had basically every movie for for opening night. They literally made every single theater had a copy of The Dark Knight in it. So we were literally playing The Dark Knight, you know, 8 to 10 times, you know, literally all at once. And so sure enough, that they kept increasing the times, you know, they kept adding more and more times because it was just making so much money so fast. And oh, that was a busy night. That was a busy night for everybody, but what can I say? History pulled off. Heath Ledger won an Oscar for his role as the Joker. And on top of that, we have one of the absolute best Batman movies ever made. You will not change my opinion on it because you know when you see it after watching Batman Begins that the story is much better. It flows along so easily. It's a little bit longer. It's like 2.5 hours, but it doesn't feel like 2.5 hours. But it is so good. And, you know, what can I say? I mean, it's just a great movie. So, let's get into the meat and potatoes on this thing. So, oh, actually, before we do that, I forgot to mention something. Besides the Joker, we have another villain. I completely forgot about the other villain, Two-Face. Yep, we have Aaron Eckhart as Harvey Dent / Two-Face in this movie. Yeah, such an awesome performance. Because here it is, you got this guy who basically, he's Gotham's basically White Knight. So here it is, you got Harvey Dent during the day and Batman during the night. You know, you got White Knight and Dark Knight, you know, basically kind of clashing together to get rid of crime in Gotham. And basically they're trying to figure out how to stop the Joker. And they can't really do it all that well. So they have to figure out what to do. And so, God, I mean, this Aaron Eckhart's performance is awesome in this movie. And then especially once he changes to Two-Face, yeah, now his other half is CGI because it's a more realistic take than what Tommy Lee Jones's version was. But you know, I just can't say anything much more about it. I mean, you just have to watch this movie for yourself to really appreciate how good of a story this Batman movie is. So let's get into the meat and potatoes with this thing. So this thing is butt loaded with extras, packed with features. So the first disc, this is kind of what the big difference is between the two. So on the first disc, we have what's called Movie with Focus Points, which is basically, since it's on Blu-ray, since as you're watching the movie, you'll notice this little scene that pops up in the corner, and you want to basically, it will stop, you know, what you're watching, and it will show you basically certain focus points of, you know, behind the scenes material of what happens with certain sequences throughout the movie. But the good thing is that you can actually bypass that, and you can just watch it all as one. I think it's like one long, like it's like an hour-long documentary just by itself. So we have Gotham Undercovered, the creation of a scene. Director Christopher Nolan and creative collaborators unmask the incredible detail and planning behind the film, including stunt staging, filming in IMAX, the new Batsuit, and the Bat Pod, and more. Featuring exclusive features via BD Live. Yeah, Blu-ray Live had exclusive features that you could do on this. One of them, what was really cool, was a thing that if you was that you could actually record yourself doing a video commentary, and you could and anybody could upload it to their servers. So as you're watching, you know, the movie, as long as you're connected to you have a decent internet connection, you can actually watch somebody else's commentary as the movie's going on. And David Goyer actually did one for this, which is awesome. I don't know if you can still find it or if it's still accessible now, but it might still be out there. I really don't know. I'd have to go into the depths of the internet to see if it actually still works or not. So, disc 2. Here's the rest of the special features. We have Batman Tech, the incredible gadgets and tools in high definition. Batman Unmasked, the psychology of the Dark Knight. Delve into the psyche of Bruce Wayne and the world of Batman through real-world psychotherapy. Gotham Tonight. This feature is really cool. It has the 6 episodes of Gotham Cable's premiere news program. That's basically all of the news footage that you saw in the movie. Those were all things that were just shot for the movie itself. So everything is there. Like, when the character of Mike Ingle, all of his news stuff, it's there. It is all here. And finally, we have the galleries, the Joker cards, concept art, poster art, production stills, trailers, and TV spots. So yeah, amazing movie. The back of the artwork is awesome, where it has all the Joker graffiti all over it. But yeah, I mean, and then one other thing I just got to mention about Heath Ledger's performance is that when Commissioner Gordon gets his promotion to commissioner, and you see that scene where Ledger's just doing that, that actually was improvised by Ledger, and they kept it in the movie, and that got such a huge laugh from the audience. And, I'm like, that's so cool that they left it in. So, yeah, The Dark Knight. Literally, from writer Peter Travers from Rolling Stone, and I quote, "Prepare to be wowed." That's literally all I have to say about this. Literally. Prepare to be wowed, and sure enough, it still holds up to this day. It's one of the greatest Batman movies ever made. And yeah, so with that, up next we come to the conclusion of the Nolan trilogy. Same bat time, same bat channel. Please like and subscribe, leave a comment, click on that notification bell, and I'll see you in the final chapter of the Nolan trilogy.